This video is brought to you by togetherbudget.com. So, let's start with the first step in understanding your debt, taking a close look at all of your outstanding loans. Can you tell me why this is such an important part of the debt repayment process?
Absolutely. When we're overwhelmed by debt, it's easy to feel like we're drowning in a sea of numbers and creditors. But taking that first step to get organized and see our debt clearly can be incredibly empowering.
That's so true. And what about the importance of categorizing our debt? Can you walk us through why that's such a crucial step in the process?
When we categorize our debt, we're able to see patterns and areas where we can make changes. For example, if we have multiple credit cards with high interest rates, it might be worth considering consolidating or refinancing those loans.
Now, let's talk about the emotional aspect of dealing with debt. How can our listeners avoid getting stuck in a cycle of guilt and shame?
That's such an important question. Guilt and shame can be major obstacles to progress when it comes to paying off debt. It's essential to approach the process with compassion and kindness towards ourselves.
When it comes to prioritizing high-interest loans, there are two popular methods, the snowball and avalanche techniques. But which one is right for you?
I've always been a fan of the snowball method myself, but I've also had clients who swear by the avalanche technique. Can you explain the difference?
Absolutely. The snowball method involves creating a list of your debts, sorting them by balance from smallest to largest, and then focusing on paying off the smallest one first. This approach provides a psychological boost as you quickly eliminate smaller debts.
That makes sense. But what about the avalanche technique? Doesn't that prioritize the highest interest loans instead?
The avalanche method is a great choice for those who want to save money on interest over time. By focusing on the highest interest loan first, you'll reduce your debt burden more efficiently.
But what about if someone has multiple high-interest loans with similar interest rates? Which one should they prioritize then?
Let's start with side hustles. A side hustle is essentially a part-time business or freelance work that can help you earn extra income.
That makes sense. I've always been interested in starting a side hustle, but I don't know where to begin.
Well, the first step is to identify your skills and passions. What are you good at? What do you enjoy doing?
Let me think about that.
And don't just think about traditional skills like writing or designing. Think about things like photography, cooking, or even pet sitting.
Okay, I see what you mean. So, once I have an idea for a side hustle, how do I get started?
Another important aspect of maximizing your income is salary negotiations. When was the last time you negotiated a raise?
Ugh, it's been years. I'm not even sure I know how to do it anymore.
Don't worry, it's a skill that can be learned. The key is to understand your worth and communicate it effectively.
That makes sense. But what if my employer says no? What are my options?
Well, there are always options. You could consider looking for a new job, or even starting your own business.
Wow, I never thought of it that way.
Now, let's talk about tax-advantaged accounts. These can be a great way to save for retirement or other long-term goals.
I've heard of 401ks and IRAs, but I'm not really sure how they work.
Well, the basic idea is that you contribute pre-tax dollars to an account, which reduces your taxable income.
That sounds good. But what about the rules and regulations? I don't want to get in trouble with the IRS.
Don't worry, there are plenty of resources available to help you understand the rules. And it's always a good idea to consult with a financial advisor.
Okay, I feel better now.
Let's start with debt consolidation. This is a popular strategy for simplifying your finances, but it's not always the best option.
Can you explain why that is?
Well, when you consolidate debt into a single loan or credit card with a lower interest rate, you might be giving up some benefits. For example, if your original cards had rewards programs, those will likely disappear once you consolidate.
That's a good point. What are the benefits of consolidating debt, then?
One major advantage is that consolidation can simplify your payments and reduce stress. With multiple debts, it's easy to miss a payment or make a late one. Consolidation streamlines everything into one monthly bill.
That makes sense. What about the interest rate? Is consolidation always going to give you a lower rate? Let's move on to balance transfer. This is a strategy for moving high-interest debt to a lower-interest credit card.
Exactly. Balance transfer can be a great way to save money on interest, but it comes with some caveats.
What are the risks?
First, most balance transfer offers have an introductory period, after which your rate will skyrocket. This can leave you in a worse position than before if you're not careful.
That's scary. How do you avoid getting stuck with a high interest rate?
Refinancing is another strategy for paying off debt. This typically involves taking out a new loan with a lower interest rate.
I've heard of refinancing, but I'm not sure how it works.
Refinancing can be complex, but the basic idea is to replace an existing loan with a new one that has better terms.
What are some of those better terms?
Now that you've made significant progress in paying off your debt, it's essential to maintain momentum and avoid relapse. One strategy is to create a debt-free vision board.
A vision board? How does that help?
Another crucial aspect is to celebrate milestones and acknowledge your progress. Celebrate each small victory, no matter how insignificant it may seem.
That makes sense. I've been so focused on the end goal that I forgot to enjoy the journey. What's a good way to celebrate?
Lastly, it's vital to stay motivated by finding accountability and support. This can be through online communities, debt forums, or even hiring a financial advisor.
I've been thinking of joining an online community. Can you recommend any specific platforms or resources?
This tutorial is brought to you by Malik Abwalzait.